Greetings and welcome to another musical adventure in time travel. In this latest series of videos I've featured experimenting with a set of authentic sounding strings on my lyre. For most of the many years I've been trying to master this amazing instrument, I've had to make do with, unfortunately, modern nylon harp strings. However, some very nice string expert in Canada by the name of Peter Pringle recently made me a set of pure silk strings for my lyre. These are very similar in tone to the wound gut strings used in antiquity. I mean, even modern polished gut harp strings wouldn't be similar in tone, but the narrow fibres of wound silk very closely would resemble the closely wound fibres of wound gut. So that's the strings I'm using on the lyre at the moment. I'm also going to demonstrate a few hypothetical ancient Greek styles of lyre playing. All the ancient Greek lyres traditionally had 7 strings, presumably to represent the 7 celestial spheres. But it's very hard to play a tune with just 7 strings. Even on my lyre, which is an evocation of the biblical kinnor, the Hebrew lyre played in the Temple of Jerusalem, it's still easy to run out of strings to actually play a melody. So back in about 1924, the musicologist Curt Sach came up with a hypothesis how the ancient musicians got around this little snag by suggesting it was possible to play accidentals on a diatonically strung lyre by a technique known as string stopping. Basically that entails using a knuckle or of the thumb or something against the string to act as a fret on the string. Something like this. Experimenting more with this technique and also listening to the advice of Peter Pringle, who actually manufactured these silk strings, he suggested another technique which he derived from actual illustrations of ancient Egyptian harpists. 2,000 years before the age of classical Greece, this string stopping technique seems to be actually illustrated, where there's depictions of ancient Egyptian harpists sort of pressing on a string with the thumb, presumably with the nail, and depressing also at the same time with their index finger sort of pressing into the string as leverage. So the thumb nail acts as as the fret on the string, and the index finger presses into the string. This gives much more sustain for a finger stopped string, something like this. So I'm going to be using the string pinching technique for one of the longer notes in the melody, and Curt Sach's hypothesis of using the thumb knuckle for one of the quicker notes in the melody. So the actual melody I'm going to be playing features in a few of my albums, and quite recently it's going to be featured in my album which is called A Well-Tuned Lyre, The Just Intonation of Antiquity. And this is the Delphic Hymn To Apollo. Traditionally it was thought to date to 138 BC, but more modern scholarship seems to think it dates to 128 BC. That's another story. So in the tune coming anyway, I'm going to demonstrate this hypothetical ancient Greek techniques of string stopping or string pinching, so look out for that. And you can hear my most up-to-date version of this in the crystal purity of just intonation in my new album, which will be released by around November 2012, which is A Well-Tuned Lyre, the Just Intonation of Antiquity. Look out for that on iTunes very soon. Anyway, that's the plug out of the way with. Enjoy the music.